It's time to feel what you've been bottling up. Life in rural America isn't easy. The long hours, the constant pressures, the demands of the land, livestock, and family, it all takes a toll. We're tough and we've got grit, but somewhere along the way, toughness started meaning bottling up emotions and powering through. But here's the truth. That strategy, it's not working and it's poisoning us. Maybe you've noticed and maybe you haven't, but the numbers don't lie. We're breaking down and it's showing up in our bodies, our relationships, and in the rising suicide rates in agriculture. You don't have to carry any of it alone. There's another way. If you're ready to stop being weighed down and start moving forward, my one-on-one good movement guidance is now open. Visit the link in the show notes to learn more and see if one-on-one guidance could be for you.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and see good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. Toward the end of last year, 2023, I set some intentions for what was left of the year. I think I had a month left. It was the end of November, beginning of December. Anyway, I digress. Those intentions were listen to the daily audio Bible and have quiet time every day. Be present with the kids and Tom instead of hanging out in my head all the time. And open the doors on my one-on-one good movement coaching membership, which I did. And if you would like information about that, check out the show notes for the link for more information. Anyway, I set all of those intentions, those 3 intentions. Then a few days went by and I unintentionally added a 4th intention. I was out doing the morning chores. I'd fed horses and let the dogs out for a run. And while the dogs were out, I decided to take a walk down to the windmill. When I got to the windmill, it felt so good. I felt so good that I just went ahead and kept walking to the auto gate, which is about a half mile, maybe not quite a half mile. It's a half mile to the auto gate-ish. It wasn't particularly warm out that morning, but the cold air felt really good as I walked briskly to the auto gate and back to the house, listening to nothing but the gravel crunch under my feet. So the next morning, I did it again and again. It felt good. And that is when I decided to officially set a 4th intention, a daily walk outside. Other than it being outside, I didn't set any other parameters for my walk. For me, keeping the parameters to a minimum and the pressure low keeps me more intent on actually doing the thing. So a couple weeks in, my foot started to hurt, unfortunately. One day, it was so painful that I didn't want to do the regular 2 miles that I had been doing. I mean, I eased in, but I was doing a regular 2 miles at that point. So I opted to climb a hill because it would be short and sweet and over with. I went to go climb the hill behind our house, which is pretty steep. And in hindsight, probably not the best alternative for a sore foot, but I went for it anyway. I did not make it very far up that hill before my breathing was absolutely out of control And my foot wasn't feeling that great either. So I decided to take a different route and walk up and around the backside of the hill, which is far less steep. Now, to some, it might sound like I took the easy way out, going the less steep route. And some wouldn't be wrong. It was easier. It was smoother. It was less painful, but it was also longer, both in time and distance. Taking the long way around was slower, yet smoother. My breathing, my heart rate, my foot pain, everything was more under control. I did not quit, and I felt better in the end, as I often do, because remember, I spend a lot of time in my head. I spent some time ruminating on this particular walk. This one in particular, because it didn't go as planned. I didn't take the route that I had planned on taking. I went an easier, albeit longer way around. And I got to thinking about how we all have hills we're going to have to climb in life. Hills we can't not climb. And how often we're so concerned with getting to the top of those hills as fast as we can that we make it harder on ourselves and the people around us. We cut corners, walk the steeper path, and power through, sometimes out of pride and sometimes because we think we can get over the hill quicker. But more often than not, that ends poorly for us, even if we do make it over the hill quicker. We get exhausted, frustrated, burn out on the climb, and we just can't continue without hurting ourselves or those around us. But I would argue that there's always another way around. While we may not always be able to get out of climbing the hill, we can always find another way. We just have to slow down long enough to see it. And I know this sounds counterintuitive, but slowing down more often than not actually gets us where we want to go faster than speeding up or taking shortcuts. Sorting cattle turns screaming match, unspoken or unmet expectations, unclear hand signals, taking a tongue lashing while backing a trailer, older generation this, younger generation that. If you're in agriculture, chances are you related to at least one of those. These breakdowns in communication have become commonplace in our industry. They become so regular, in fact, that the internet abounds with memes and TikTok videos joking about those very things. But is the humor found in the breakdowns worth the harm it causes in relationships and to our mental health? Good Movement one-on-one coaching and group trainings are designed to prevent these communication breakdowns by helping farmers, ranchers, and rural folks grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Visit the link in the show notes to see if a Good Movement group training or one-on-one coaching membership is right for you. Like we have the phrase, good movement draws good movement, and stockmanship, we also have this other phrase, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Slowing down when it comes to handling and working with livestock is never wrong. It's never a wrong choice. Slowing down, even stopping when we're working with livestock, does a couple things. First, it allows us to think, to see things we might have missed, and find another route if the one we're taking isn't going well. Second, it takes the pressure off the animals, helps them slow down, and encourages them to respond rather than react to what we're asking of them. When you slow down, your herd move or workday goes more smoothly. Slow is smooth. And smooth is fast, especially if it means you don't have to fix fence, go after cattle that went the wrong way, or do things by yourself because you pissed off your help and they left. Slowing down when it comes to our human interactions works in much the same way. When we slow down, it helps us to be self and socially aware enough, depending on the circumstance, whether it's a you problem or a challenge you're facing, or if you're in conversation or relationship with someone else. It helps us to be self and socially aware enough to see another path or two. And if we are interacting with another person, it helps take the pressure off whoever we're interacting with helps them slow down, and encourages them to respond rather than react to us. Slowing down helps us ask honest questions of ourselves and or others, like we talked about in episode 12, choose curiosity over criticism. Asking honest questions helps us approach the conversation or the challenge from a place of knowledge. And when we have that knowledge, the best, notice I did not say the shortest, route often reveals itself. So going back to my morning hike, my out of control breathing and foot pain prompted me to slow down. Slowing down allowed me to recognize that going straight up the hill would have caused me pain and possibly hyperventilation. I used that self-awareness to choose a different, albeit longer path. That path got me to the same destination, but in better shape than if I hadn't listened to my body and just powered through, trudging straight up the steep hill. It's very steep. I can't show you a picture because this is a podcast, but the hill is very steep. When we are talking about how this relates to life, maybe the trigger is an ache in your gut. For me, that's the first sign. Then tightness in my chest. You or someone else might be yelling. Whatever that is, take it as an opportunity to slow down. Ask the honest questions about what is happening and use what you learn to find another path that will get you to the desired outcome, or maybe an outcome even better than you had pictured. Even if that path happens to be longer and takes you more time, it will be smoother, and smooth is fast. Now, the smooth is fast part isn't as immediately apparent in our human-to-human interactions or life's challenges as it is when we're handling livestock. But it does reveal itself in the time and heartache saved when we don't have to repair relationships because we didn't take the time to try and understand in the first place, or fix messes caused by repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Smooth is fast also reveals itself after we've practiced the slow is smooth piece and have enough reps that we don't actually have to slow down because we've made self and social awareness our norm, giving us the knowledge we need to proceed without actually having to slow down, stop to intentionally think about it because it's just become the norm for us. With that, if you have any questions about this or any other concept that we have discussed here on the podcast, please do not hesitate to reach out via social media, DM, or by emailing me at the address in the show notes. Until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.